Right now at 6, an Antioch family shaken by a shooting that left 2 people dead, including the owner of a popular market and restaurant.
Their shots rang out and my brother-in-law died.
We'll hear from loved ones trying to make sense of the violence.
I just want justice for my family, please, man.
Plus, the so-called entertainment zones have brought thousands of visitors to San Francisco. But what if your business is just outside the zone?
I've gotten a little annoyed on occasion.
We'll visit a wine bar where the results have been hit or miss. And the Red Devils rise from the ashes, or at least their football field did.
They worked overtime. They were just amazing.
How an East Bay high school was able to replace its turf weeks after it was scorched by fire. And later, we'll meet a local lowrider cruising through barriers of what has historically been a boys' club.
It feels like I've got power.
This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
Good evening. We begin in Antioch, where a shooting outside of a market and restaurant killed 2 people and injured 2 others, including a teenager. It happened last night near the intersection of D Street and West 19th Street, just in front of the Pacateria Castaneda Market. Dahlin spoke with family members who say both of the victims who were killed leave behind young children.
The shooting happened in front of this building. There's a restaurant and a market inside. Witnesses say people were sitting outside when gunshots rang out. Family members confirmed one of the victims was the market's owner.
Go! Go! Out behind the tape! Everyone go! Behind the tape!
An emotional night for loved ones as police cordoned off a crime scene where 2 people were killed and 2 others injured. Family members identified one victim as 34-year-old Julio Castaneda, owner of Pacateria Castaneda Market. They say he would have turned 35 in 2 weeks. The other man killed was his close friend, 42-year-old Tomas. They didn't know his last name. Police say the shooting also wounded a 36-year-old man who was stable and a 15-year-old boy who was in critical condition.
I'm feeling anger, sad. I just want justice. I'm just looking for answers. Like, why does this happen? Like, why?
Ismael Quintero, Julio's brother-in-law, says his sister and nieces are devastated. He says Julio was a devoted family man.
He was a good, loving person, man. He loved his daughters, man. He loved the girls, man. He loved my sister to death, man.
Antioch police are investigating what led to the shooting. They have not released a motive. It happened Thursday night, just before 10:30, right in front of the market Julio owned. His family also runs the restaurant in the same building. Family members say people were sitting outside talking when someone opened fire on the group.
I heard like at least 4 or 5 gunshots.
Longtime customers say the market is a community hub, and Julio treated everyone with kindness.
He treated the customer like a family. It's very sad. It hurts, because you're not expecting.
Ismael says he can't understand why anyone would hurt his brother-in-law. He's now focused on supporting Julio's children.
He had daughters, little girls, man. You guys left them out without a father. I just want justice for my family.
Ismael says Julio is survived by 4 daughters and a longtime partner. He says Tomas also leaves behind a young daughter. Antioch police are asking anyone with information to come forward. So far, no one has been arrested in this case.
So police have arrested a man they say killed 2 women last night in Walnut Creek. Officers say they got the call just before midnight of gunfire on Colobra Court near Ignacio Valley Road. When officers arrived, they found 2 women dead inside the home. Police have arrested 43-year-old Howard Wang on suspicion of murder. They say he knew the victims, but have not said more on their relationship. He's being held without bail. A judge has ruled that the teen accused of shooting 49ers wide receiver Ricky Pearsall will not be tried as an adult and will remain in juvenile court. So police say the shooting happened during a robbery attempt near Union Square, happened in August of last year. Pearsall was injured, but has since recovered. The teen's lawyers argue that sending a young person to adult state prison should be a last resort for cases that cannot be redeemed, and that the suspect has shown great maturity while in juvenile detention and a desire to get his life back on track. San Francisco attorney DA Brooke Jenkins said in a statement that while she firmly believes juvenile court is appropriate for minors in most cases, when she has concerns the system is not suitable to rehabilitate the minor, it's her duty to seek a transfer hearing. Meanwhile, we want to show you this. Pearsall returned last season after missing the first 6 games, finished with the 3rd most receiving yards on the team. And so far this season, he is the team's leading receiver. All right, we are less than 2 months away from the special election that could give state lawmakers the power to redraw California's congressional maps. Prop 50, it aims to counter Republican gerrymandering efforts in Missouri and also Texas. So if passed, the new district boundaries would be in effect for the congressional elections in November of 2026. And according to a new poll from Emerson College, more than half of Californians are in favor of Prop 50. According to the New York Times, California's redistricting effort has raised roughly $70 million. Governor Newsom discussed the fundraising earlier today in San Francisco.
We've raised an extraordinary amount of money because the awareness on this is not just across the state of California, but there's awareness all across this country. We've received over $20 million in small dollar contributions, which is extraordinary.
Governor Newsom also supported the Redistricting Reform Act of 2025 proposed by a group of top congressional Democrats yesterday that would ban mid-cycle redistricting. Tomorrow, it marks 1 year since San Francisco kicked off a new strategy to revitalize its downtown, the so-called entertainment zones. They've brought some much-needed nightlife. The event started under former Mayor London Breed, and her successor has certainly pushed the project even further. And they've shown to be incredibly beneficial for the businesses directly involved with these events. But what about those in the surrounding area? Max Darrow takes a deeper look.
Inside Embark Wines on Front Street.
See, the lights will light up.
Adam Levengood gets a splash of a New World white.
There it is. It's a 1 ounce pour.
1 ounce for 1 year of business downtown.
So we first started looking at the space about 18 months ago. And at that time, we weren't quite sure what was going to happen around here in terms of foot traffic.
Adam and co-founder Richard knew the next block over of Front Street was supposedly going to be ground zero for a new strategy to get people downtown. The city's first ever so-called entertainment zone with a lineup of big neighborhood events. That certainly couldn't hurt, but would it help them a block away? A year into both his business and the Front Street Entertainment Zone's existence, Adam says it is a case-by-case basis.
When we are included in the perimeter of the event, we are finding it beneficial. It just doesn't happen that often. So.
Bhangra and Beats is an example of a big win because it included his block of front streets between Clay and Sacramento.
That was fantastic. That was actually, I believe, our best day.
But the events that just keep to the block of front between California and Sacramento.
I've gotten a little annoyed on occasion that, it seemed like there were so many people over here and no one in here, or maybe 1 or 2 people.
The entertainment zone has proven to bring people to the area. According to the Downtown San Francisco Partnership, 36,500 people across 15 events in its first year.
We're really repositioning how people use and think about downtown San Francisco.
Melissa Buckminster says Oktoberfest is one of the premier events that drives spending. She points to Schroeder's as an example.
Schroeder's always makes the most on Oktoberfest that they make throughout the year. And last year specifically was twice the amount that they had made on Oktoberfest the year before.
Doubling down on entertainment zones, activations, and nightlife are a major part of the city's bet on revitalizing downtown. Mayor Daniel Lurie says this part of the strategy is paying off.
The first Thursdays, especially those downtown, we see companies coming back 5 days a week. Some are coming back 4 days a week, and they have told me that one of the reasons why is they actually now have events to point their workers to.
A steady drumbeat of events, activations, making sure that places are clean and safe. All of these sort of different layers on top of each other absolutely do make a difference in downtown SF.
Overall, a net positive for Adam and the team at Embark, despite being on the periphery at times.
I think we have seen some good overflow.
He's hopeful to see more overflow in the future.
We've made it past the first year, which of course is a big milestone for any small business, and we hope to be here for many years to come.
Serving and teaching all things wine.
Mayor Lurie also recently announced his $40 million Heart of the City plan to accelerate downtown revitalization. Now, part of the plan includes the creation of 4 more entertainment zones on Ellis Street, Maiden Lane, Jackson Square, and Claude Lane. So just a few blocks away from the Front Street Entertainment Zone, check out this massive art project. Volunteers, they painted a mural on the 300-foot alley downtown. And then most of the volunteers are from the design and architectural firm Gensler, which has its headquarters in San Francisco. So it came up with the design of the mural. It is called Flow State and has trees and flowers to bring the natural world downtown.
Hope is that it brings a little bit of brightness and softens up this very urban and kind of hard-edged alley, and just show downtown some love.
I like that. The alley runs from the Transamerica Pyramid south to Pine Street. The hope is to eventually have the street completely covered with murals. Nice job. All right, still ahead here at 6. A different sort of art project will be cruising in San Francisco. You know it. We're going to meet some of the Bay Area's only lady lowriders as they get ready for tomorrow's historic parade. Lady lowriders.
It just makes me feel like free and peaceful and proud, very, very proud.
You go, girl. Plus, we're live from Mount Diablo High School in Concord, where they're playing their first game on the brand new turf field just weeks after the old one was torched. Go get them, guys. And then all of Benicia still dealing with water woes from that broken pipeline. We'll introduce you to a plant shop owner who had to get creative to keep her products alive. Feed me. We're going to take you to Concord tonight, where tonight's homecoming football game at Mount Diablo High School has extra significance. So let's take a look. There's a live look at the JV team. There they are. They're taking on the Alameda Hornets. It's the first time the team is playing on their new field, less than a month after it was damaged in a fire. The Red Devils had to play their first home game of the season at Concord High School, but the varsity squad is actually undefeated. Well, more than a third of the field, look at that, it was damaged back on August 23rd. It's being investigated as a possible arson after surveillance footage showed a group of people setting off fireworks. Video from last month shows the middle of the turf was completely scorched. School officials tell us that crews brought in by the manufacturer were able to work quickly and get everything ready ahead of tonight's game, I'll say. And that wasn't easy considering the turf had to be shipped all the way from Georgia.
It's better than I could have imagined. We're just so thankful to be back on the field, and for the kids, they are just so excited about it, and it's just going to be a really fun game.
Good, we like that. While the turf is ready for tonight's game, school officials say the logo at the center of the field has to be manufactured separately. That's okay, they can do that. And it will be ready for a few more weeks. All right, necessary supplies have arrived in Benicia to patch up the main drinking water pipeline that was damaged. So the city issued a critical water shortage alert Wednesday night, asking residents and businesses to cut down on their water use by 40%. The damage is located near Goodyear Road and Morrow Lane next to 680. Crews were out there today and yesterday to assess the damage. We heard from Kathy, a plant store owner who needed a creative solution to deal with the outage.
All of these are water babies. They all require lots of water. So that's when I grabbed my 1-gallon containers and I filled them up with water because I live in Vallejo, and I brought them to Benicia.
Aw, there you go, Kathy. Well, crews are expected to work through the weekend to backfill the excavation site and then refill the water line. In the meantime, the city is relying on its backup water source, Lake Herman. Women car clubs will be driving in tomorrow's lowrider parade in San Francisco, but they weren't always given a spot behind the wheel. And there are still some lowrider clubs that are male only. Kara St. Cyr introduces us to the women driving through the glass ceiling.
We're still unpacking our stuff. I don't see them now.
Lowriding isn't just a hobby. It's a Mexican-American tradition.
That's one. That's about 18.
And a way of life for Hilda Ramirez.
Oh, here's another old picture of me with a different car. I knew the 63 was my favorite. This was a family car, so it was in addition to my very own Impala.
Introduced to the culture by her uncles, it was a dream to drive her own one day. But there was one problem. Most car clubs are exclusively male.
There's still car clubs to this day that don't allow women in their club, and we get it. Sometimes, you want a space for yourself.
Angel Romero, a member of Dueña's car club and a seasoned lowrider, says female clubs are relatively new. Romero says lowrider clubs were established in the 1940s, but women weren't allowed to join them. The tide started changing around the 70s, with more female groups popping up throughout California. In the Bay, Romero says she knows of about 3 of them currently.
We're breaking barriers. We can do the same thing a man can do. We can be out there and showing off our rights, that we've worked hard. We can build our own cars. So I think it really needs to show our future generation daughters that, hey, you can do anything it is you want to do in this world, whether it's own a lowrider or be a CEO.
The result is a small community of women, like Hilda, dedicated to upholding lowrider culture. And it also means a slot in the Carnival San Francisco Grand Parade.
It feels like I've got power and, God, it just makes me feel like free and peaceful and just proud, very, very proud.
Hilda sourced this 1963 Impala herself, restoring it to its original paint.
Her name is Diamond Girl. She's just a diamond.
And adding the gold fixings. And possibly her favorite feature.
I love my hydraulics.
To her and other women in the club, these cars represent progress, giving women a seat at the table.
It means so much to me. Like I said, it's a dream car.
And a dream realized.
I love that. Give her a seat at the seat. We'll bring you the Lowrider Parade live tomorrow, September 20th. You can catch it all starting at 1 p.m. on PIX Plus, 44 Cable 12, and streaming on the free CBS News app. This is the first time a Lowrider Parade has been televised start to finish. Let's take it away, Paul.
We'll start with some fog tomorrow morning, but we will finish with sunshine breaking through. Right now, that fog is just kind of massing at the coast. It'll spread out as we head through the rest of this evening. Temperatures today managed to warm up closer to what's normal for this time of year, from the upper 60s to the mid 80s farther inland. Almost precisely normal temperatures tomorrow, and then more of a warm up as we head into early autumn. Irony rearing its head. We'll take a look at the details coming up in First Alert Weather.
Let's get to our Friday weather. Okay, I would say it rained for about half a minute in Pleasanton, a little bit, and then here we go. Now we're going to kind of go to the other side, a little heat wave, right?
Right. It rained for a little bit longer than that in the North Bay. There was one shower that kind of moved across the peninsula yesterday evening around 10:30. That was pretty much it for the rain around the Bay Area. Other parts of the state,
kind of fun.
Yeah, other parts of the state got too much. Saw some mudslides down south.
Right.
But at least we avoided that, and we avoided any cloud to ground lightning problems. Let's take a look at what the weekend has in store. It obviously has some fog in store because that's already rolling right through the Golden Gate. Temperatures return to normal as we head through the weekend. The first day of autumn is on Monday. It will not feel like fall. It's going to be hot for the beginning of next week, but that inland heat wave isn't going to last very long. Monday into Tuesday, temperatures will be running 5 to 10 degrees above normal, and then we get right back to what's normal for this time of year. And there's no rain in sight. We were tracking a chance of showers next Tuesday. That has diminished to almost zero. Not technically zero, but awfully close. Temperatures right now also diminishing, but it's still warm inland, 80 degrees exactly in Livermore and Concord, 66 degrees right now in the city, with 68 across the bay in Oakland. That fog that's hanging out in the coast is going to make a pretty good push across the bay as we head through the rest of tonight. Much more of an inland intrusion compared to earlier in the week when we had those hot temperatures, but inland, that fog doesn't last long. It retreats to around the bay by mid-morning and backs up to the coast by lunchtime. And along the coast, you're not going to be fogged in all day. You are going to see at least partial clearing as we head into the afternoon. Your temperatures will struggle to warm up, though. Everybody within a degree on either side of what's normal for mid to late September. I guess tomorrow's the 20th, so we can call it late September. Low to mid 80s in the Santa Clara Valley, mid to upper 80s east of the Oakland Hills, but even the hot spots from Fairfield to Antioch and Brentwood falling a couple degrees short of 90 degrees. A mix of 70s and low 80s around the bay with 60s at the coast and a lot of upper 70s for the North Bay. Some of the warmer spots, though, farther inland reaching up into the mid 80s by tomorrow afternoon. Dog walking weather's looking pretty good in the morning. We're doing an adoptable dog from the East County Animal Shelter. This is a flower who is in full bloom and ready to blossom in a forever home. Probably a little too warm in Dublin for a mid-afternoon walk with those temperatures reaching up into the 80s, but the rest of the day is looking pretty good and plenty of sunshine flowers enjoy sunshine, right? We'll put up a link on social media, Blue Sky, Instagram, and Facebook, and Threads as well, right after this weathercast if you are interested in adopting that happy smile. In terms of the winds over the weekend, they back down a little bit for the second half of the weekend, which is why that's going to be the slightly warmer half of the weekend. Those temperatures increasing just a couple degrees in most locations on Sunday, but San Jose is going to be almost exactly persistent from Saturday to Sunday. There's that 2-day warm spell, Monday and Tuesday, closer to 90 degrees in the Santa Clara Valley. But it doesn't take long to go down the other side of the temperature roller coaster. We're right back to normal as we head through most of next week, the latter half of next week. 7-day forecast shows that same progression. Again, the inland temperatures are going to be into the 90s for a couple of days, but then back into the middle portion of the 80s. And that chance of showers that we had on Tuesday has gone away. It's, again, technically not a 0% chance of rain, but it is really close at this point. Bayside temperatures get back up to around 80 degrees on average Monday and Tuesday. So that means a mix of upper 70s and low to mid 80s. Then 70s across the board from Wednesday through the end of next week. And temperatures at the coast, after a weekend in the 60s, you get back up to around or above 70 degrees for a couple days, Monday and Tuesday. And then you're back into the 60s. But this time of year, the fog usually isn't quite as stubborn as it is in May gray, June gloom, no sky July, August, all
Look,
that.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around the fact we're starting to see pumpkins at stores.
Oh,
My
I know.
mom sent me a picture.
It's been
of
out
a
there since
pumpkin
August.
at Home Depot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it starts early.
Yeah, they've
huh?
been selling the Halloween candy
Yeah.
since
Oh, well.
about August 1st.
Oh, you're saying that's Halloween candy that you're getting?
No, maybe.
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 All right.
Candy of one sort.
Same, right? All right. Thank you, Paul. Okay, up next. When we come back, the NFL season just started, but it's not too early to kick off the countdown to Super Bowl 60, and it's right here in the Bay Area. Plus, here's a look at what's ahead on the CBS Evening News.
Security this weekend at the public memorial for conservative activist Charlie Kirk will be at the same level reserved for events like the Super Bowl. That's tonight on the CBS Evening News.
Now you can get your KPIX news, weather, and live stream all in one place on the CBS News app. Download it free today.
The countdown to Super Bowl 60 has begun, and whether the 49ers will be playing or not, the Bay Area is hosting the big game. So earlier today, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell joined San Francisco leaders to raise the Super Bowl flag over the City Hall. So the game itself, of course, will be held at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara on February 8th. And members of the host committee, they held a special discussion at SF MoMA, kicking off to the countdown. Goodell announced the NFL's first ever Innovation Summit and spoke about having the Super Bowl back in the Bay Area.
And that's what we're excited about doing, sharing our game, using our game to unite the country and the world. And I think we could all use a little bit of that. So the Super Bowl will be here to shine a light on the wonderful things that are happening and the wonderful things that are here in the Bay Area.
As for the Innovation Summit, it will be held during the week of Super Bowl 60 at SF MoMA. It will bring together hundreds of sports and business leaders together to talk about new tech products and programs. CBS Evening News is next, right here on KPIX 5. Local news always streaming on CBS News Bay Area. Back here in 30 minutes. More news at 7. See you then.